Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everybody? Tell you what's going on. XRP crypto to end dollar domination. Tell you this is really, really bad news, and we got to get into it. Got a lot of good news too, because there's still things happening. Pro, con. We have something really interesting to dig into as it relates to the case with Coinbase. And that will also have something to do with the case, all these other cases that the SEC has brought maliciously against the crypto industry. So we want to dig into that. We want to workshop that as we get ready to start out our beautiful morning here. Everyone give a quick shout out where you're tuning in from. Chip, you ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah, what are you drinking today? Badass Yeti coffee?
Yeti coffee.
Anybody drinking some badass Yeti's coffee? Best coffee around. Ground
Best.
and
Grind it
roasted
up.
to order. Let's go, guys. Let's do this.
Welcome to On the Chain.
So yay. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome out there to everyone. Drop what you're drinking in there. And if you're on the replay, go ahead and watch, drop something in there too. But there's a lot of stuff going on too. I kind of wanted to address some of the drama that was happening on Twitter. And I hate when people call it drama. It's just like, it was a focus, right? We probably should call it a focus on Twitter because people are like, it's drama, but it's not really drama. It's really like a focus. Like maybe a particular subject comes out and people start chatting about it. But I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to listen to a little piece of this if we can here, because I think it's interesting. Again, here we're going to showcase all kinds of things. Oh, look at that. Jalalabad, Pakistan. Hello. Here it's great up there this time of year. Drinking up some coffee up the mountains there. Beautiful.
Ray saying they don't sell Badass Yeti's coffee yet over in the Philippines. And
don't worry, we're working on international. We are working on it. We're going to be able to fulfill international pretty soon. So, because I know we've had a lot of inquiries. People in the UK are like, hey, I want to buy the coffee. I'm like, we'll get there.
Get there eventually.
We will get there. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, but I wanted to play this here. This is
hot in Texas.
Yeah, well, it's hot here in Florida, so I think we probably got you beat.
Really?
I could be wrong, though.
108?
You got us beat. It's not that hot. It's not that hot. It gets super hot there. And you know what? It's
That's
like
brutal.
There's no wind. There's like you're too far away from the water to be any sort of wind.
Right.
So it's like uncomfortably horrendous.
It's kind of like when you go outside, it's kind of like, if you're in the kitchen, you open up the oven and you got to go put something and take something out of the oven. It's that heat that comes out, that hits you in the face when you first open it. That's what it's like going outside when it's 100.
I was on a business trip once, and I walked from the hotel to a restaurant. Like it was like, kind of like across the street, but it was a good walk. So you had to walk through the parking lot. I was drenched. It was like 107 degrees. I felt completely just then. I don't know. Somebody can do the conversion for Celsius and what that is, Jeff, just so people would know. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's probably like 35 or 36 degrees, maybe 37.
Maybe 40.
Yeah, maybe even 40. I don't know.
It'd be higher than 40.
It's up there. I can tell you that. But Mr. Intuitive, he tweeted about this here, and it's about the XSpectar project, which is arguably one of the coolest projects, period. I don't even forget about like the XRPL blockchain, but just anywhere, right? I mean, it is a great project. And especially with this metaverse, as everyone knows that On the Chain bought land there. So in the virtual land there that we're going to put up on the chain building, where you'll be able to go in there and talk about, crypto, and we'll be able to, start NFTs and coffee and all that kind of stuff. It's just, he's building and it's also going to be cross-chain. Okay, there you go. So it's over 40 Celsius there. 40. So it's like maybe 41, 40, 42 Celsius. There you go. That's hot and with no breeze. So this was also, he tagged Dirk Shepins, who's the founder of which we've had on here a couple times. Release emails, blah, blah, blah. And also see Crypto Eddie applauding this. Do you feel the same? Does Bob Way agree? What's going on? I like Vet's advice. Keep working hard, Dirk. Persevere. And I'm going to play this little bit. This was from a Spaces, and this is Dirk talking here. But let's see if this will pick up, Jeff. Tell me if that.
I have been in lots of discussions with him. I support whatever he's doing. However, I don't know. I really don't know. And I've been looking about two projects building on the XRPL. And let's be honest, there are only a few that have commercial viability. And I try not to sound too frustrated, but if you guys know what we have done with a big team and how much we invested, and then the recognition that we ask to one big player and not getting it, and seeing that they support all kinds of total useless shit, that's mind-blowing. And I'm running a company with 50 people. I'm paying them every month out of my own pockets. And I think with Bob and Neil, we have really something good going on. We get grants from HBAR, we get grants from XDC, chains where we're not even building on. And let's be honest, the centralized authority on the XRPL refuses to even give us a tap on the shoulder. Well, fuck them.
Well,
you specifically grant.
So this is so now this is XRP Darren like jumping in here, and so sometimes this is going to happen, and this happens often on our show, Jeff. Is that yes, we're fans, obviously XRP, but if we see something that's not right, Jeff, you and I have been vocal about it, right?
Well, especially something like this, Chip. I mean, this is really big, and what Dirk is referencing is something that there has to be something brought really to the community at large to highlight and underscore this, because what he's referencing is that this Ripple X is willing to back and promote projects that really will never go, and they're not viable. They're not going anywhere. They're going to die out. And here's something that, you have a project that's being bootstrapped and, lots of money being put into it, shouting out the XRPL, full use case. They're building a game. They're doing all these things. Just a little bit of recognition. I think it's a really big mistake on the side of Ripple X to not have had any kind of acknowledgement, and to run around and to give out funding to shitty projects. And over a long period of time, we've seen this happen. We've seen where, they've backed just bad projects that just died out. And some of them might have sounded kind of cool. Do you remember the Cinnamon? It was a bad name to start out with, and that video project just died. All right. And that was one, I believe, that they got behind, but there was no way that project was going to take off. They were just, they were going up severe competition. They would have needed hundreds of millions of dollars to do what they had to do to get any kind of traction. But that, at least that was a project that, there was something potential, there,
right,
even though it was obvious right out of the gate it was going to die, but at least there was something there. But there's so many projects they've backed that are just absolute garbage.
No, but the bigger question too is that they have a theme, and the theme is garbage, right? It's like, I don't want to get into it. It's very, if it doesn't tick the political box, like if you say like, hey, and the funny part about it is and it could still happen, but because of clarity. But Jeff and I had orchestrated, like we had a lot of amazing ideas about what we could do with Badass Yetis, but because there's no clarity here, obviously we want to stay out of prison. But Jeff and I supported Cinnamon. We back in those days, we were doing what was called an after show. We'd have a guest on. We'd do an extra 20 minutes, and that 20 minutes would all be just usually us laughing, talking about movies and, what's your favorite this and favorite that. And we have like, a quick fire round. We put that over on Cinnamon, try to build some viewership. Hey, okay, now go watch the after show. over on Cinnamon. And then of course, you know, we all remember there's a bunch of projects that are there, and there's a lot of things that work, but what he's talking about is like these no-name projects, and they got 100 grand and they got 100 grand. And he's right, they're not commercially viable. But Jeff, they did tick the box, an environmental this or that of the carbon credits and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fun. But, you know, let's not really think that it's really going to go anywhere. And then so XRP Darren steps in here. This was a Genfinity. This is King Solomon's org over there, but this was a spaces he had. He's been doing a phenomenal job over there, bringing all kinds of chains together. I love the fact that although he's a big fan of XRP, but there's a Hedera and XDC and everything else. And this is what Dirk's bringing up, the fact that he's getting grants from XDC, from Hedera, that he's not even building on. This is remarkable. And if you follow Dirk's, and this is something I'll bring out, if you follow Dirk's timeline, and he posts these really succinct little bits of information. I'll take a whole news article and I'll just sum it up in like 3 lines. And a lot of times, I'd say 70% of it's about positivity, about Ripple or the XRPL. And he's been doing this for a long time. So I can understand the frustration of it. Speaking of which, Jeff and I applied twice with the Badass Yetis. And of course, there was something more behind it than just the NFT project. And we applied for funding, rejected. And the rejection is like this: I'm sorry, you weren't selected. And that's kind of how it goes. And I'm not saying that like, well, they should have selected us, but you got 2 beautiful stewards of the community here. And do we call things out the way we see it? Yeah. If Ripple's doing something we believe is just not in the best intention of the org, or, you know, to push things forward, we call it out. But the fact is, like, we also feel a little frustration. We applied twice. We weren't even looking for a lot of grant money. So Jeff and I bootstrapped the project. And we did it ourselves. We made it ourselves. We wanted to go with a brand. We made our own brand. Dirk's doing the same thing. But I think the frustration comes in when you see these silly projects. But let's continue here.
Perspective.
Just in general, I don't need money.
Well, you mean specifically from a grant perspective?
Just in general, I don't need money. I just would like a specific player to be supportive to people that are actually building stuff, you know, and that's absolutely not present. I see Daniel being very happy in here. I hope he comes up as well. But
I hope not.
You probably hear it on my voice, you know. Some people are really playing games. And if they keep doing that, I will publicize emails, messages, everything, what they have said to us. And then everybody will know what they say and how they do. And I can promise you, I'm more worried about them as a company than about my company, because they're a bunch of fucking liars.
All right. Well, I mean,
This is so funny, Jeff. I love when things go off the rails like this.
How do you respond to that?
You just say like, "Hey, great. Well, let's."
He's putting it out there.
Yeah, he's putting it out there. And it's like, and he's not asking for grant money. Yeah, I'm sure he's applied for grants and stuff. But the point is, when you get one of the biggest, forget about the XRPL. Let's talk about any blockchain. Let's talk about Ethereum. Let's talk about Solana. Let's talk about all, you know, especially big NFT projects. Let's talk about metaverse projects. What Dirk is putting together with XSpectar is absolutely phenomenal, what he's undertaking and what he's putting together. And people think the metaverse, what are you going to do with it? No, he's bridging commerce. He's going to make it be able to go in there and purchase stuff across blockchain. So if someone comes in from Ethereum, they'll be able to buy something and you'll be able to use the XRPL to then get the transfer. So he's building this community that will have the ability to, do transactions, like something that really doesn't exist in the world today, especially on this sort of level with multi-chain and having this beautiful world built. I mean, Jeff and I are pretty excited about it. We got an initial land grab, and I mean, this is great. This right here, what you're seeing right now, this is that beach and all that. This is all part of that XSpectar verse that they're building. And again, the whole idea of having transactions, being multi-chain, is something that is so welcome. And it's kind of like, a project that really supports what the strengths of the XRPL, and also being chain agnostic. Being chain agnostic is phenomenal. And building something like this and having 50 people, and all he's looking for is like, say, hey, just how about a tap on the shoulder, like, hey, let's promote you guys. Let's get you up on stage. Let's talk about the project. Let's talk about what you're doing, which is even more surprising because Bob Way, as you guys all know, was one of the first Ripplers over there and spent a bunch of, 5-6 years over there. I don't know how long he was there for, but Bob Way is on the team, and he's built an incredibly strong team of players over there. So I just would like to see, too, some recognition of a project that isn't the best on the XRPL, but just one of the best projects going. So I'm going to play the rest of this, Jeff. I don't know. I want to hear your comments after I play the rest of this.
Yeah, just kind of as a side notion to everything, and so the reference here is really to the Ripple X that's supposed to be there to help support projects. And we actually have an article about something that Ripple had put together a couple years ago about bringing money and funding to education within universities. But Mark Smithson is referencing something that's important with all of this also, is that the XRPL continues to get expanded. He's saying it continues to expand in new directions, including efforts on the side chains. This will give the XRPL developers broader programmability to study security tokenization and the metaverse. So, as all the conversation is here, and what Dirk is referencing, regarding some of the recognition of a company that's being built utilizing the XRPL, to the side of all the amazing developers out there that are helping to expand the XRPL, because it still needs to grow. There's still a lot of technology that needs to be added and tweaked to it.
I don't know what you mean by this, Michael Murphy. A little on the spendy side. I don't know what that means, but I'm not sure if I understand that.
Maybe the cost.
Yeah, I mean,
production.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you know what goes into building a metaverse is incredible,
and they're Yep.
We're gonna play the rest of this.
Yep. Bring it up.
All right, so I'm not sure. I forgot you stopped sharing my screen, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that back. I'm listening to it myself over here.
Oh, good. At least you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't realize my screen wasn't shared.
Liars.
All right. Well, I mean, we give you a lot of the people in the XRP community. We definitely give you a hand on the back. Just
Absolutely,
keep that out
Darren,
there.
I'm super happy with your support. I have to admit that the community is fantastic, and we have always said that we go multi-chain and we're integrating other chains, and we have had very good experience in the past weeks with other communities that are very welcoming as well. And I absolutely don't want to go anywhere. But I don't know. It's very, very hard and very disappointing. There are chains that are begging us to come over there. There are VCs that want to throw in millions if we leave the XRPL. And the only thing we ask is get a little pat on the shoulder, just a tweet saying your guy's doing a good job, and even that is too much. And I have messages from Evan in San Francisco that says you guys are doing a fantastic job. 2 minutes later he points out to another guy in New York, help them out, and it's just one big game. We wanted to go to Apex. We booked tickets for Bob and for Neil to fly into Europe, hotels booked, everything. And 2 days later, they say, sorry, guys, we changed our mind. You didn't get selected. And then it's the foundation. And then
you can come to Apex. You can come to Apex, Dirk.
Yeah, well, we wanted to speak as well, but apparently Bias Goose, his friends, they can always speak. They get all the money. That, I'm completely done with it. They have missed a big opportunity. I've said it multiple times to multiple people, be very careful, because I'm going to pack my bags and go elsewhere. And we are very, 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 very close.
There you go, Jeff. So I think it's important to say this, and I understand the frustration going out there, but political games aren't cool. And the fact is, RippleX is the people at RippleX get paid by Ripple, right? It's a Ripple org, and it was set up that now, and we're going to get into something else where Matt Hamilton, former Rippler as well, brings up some really good points of, Ripple's caught between a rock and a hard place. Like what do they support, right? And what kind of criteria do they have? And out of fairness to Ripple, they also they select people that are going to do the grants. I don't think they have internal people to do it, but every organization, Jeff, the bigger the organization, there's a lot of internal politics that go along with this, and some other things that I wanted to show. And I guess this did escalate pretty quickly, but let me see if I can pull this up in order here. Yeah, this was another thing too that kind of like. And I know for, remember, Dirk lives over in Europe, and obviously a little bit different from the US. But he shared this too, because I know firsthand that this is on the application, because Jeff and I filled out the application for that. But he said, asking questions about race and gender in an application for a grant, that's illegal in most countries. And so, and part of what it was like, I don't know, it was like select this and that. I honestly didn't even understand the terminology. That's how out of it I am, right? And someone says, I'm part of that community, but why all the noise? You go so low and do what you're doing now makes you lose the community. Dirk's response was, well, we've been taught that silence would save us, but it won't. And he's not asking for money. I mean, yeah, you can apply. We applied. Nothing would deter Jeff and I. We wanted to do this project. Yeah, it would have been nice to have it. But listen, RippleX can support with it the projects they want to support. Like, for example, XRP.cafe just got a grant. They're super deserving. They built something amazing over there. And as we learned here when Sloppy was on over here, Chris, we heard that they're not full-time. These guys are pulling this off with a lot of just part-time and crazy hours and putting the time in. There's somebody that's so deserving of it. And then there's that new wallet, the BPM, I think it's called the BPM wallet. It's going to have an event over in London at the end of the month. That was another grant winner. I saw somebody else that just launched on the XRPL over there, actually, who launched over on XRP.cafe. It was an NFT project, pretty cool. Also, scroll down, Jeff. See if you go to the featured ones. I don't know if it's in there. I don't remember the name of the project. No, it's not actually in there. But another really interesting project. But that wasn't a grant winner. Like, they can't support everybody. I get that. But look, can we forget about the one project that's like so overarching and overwhelming? And then I'll show you this one here. So this is where, let me see if I got to try to find it. Here we go. So then, and I know you mentioned a bias gooch, which I had the good fortune of meeting. And again, I'm not trying to choose sides. I'm trying to present this in a way, and I guess he said, this is how the community lead at RippleX Devs reacts to the community. And then first of all, he was blocked. And then Bias Goose said he was going to take some time, and then he deleted his account. But, listen, everybody has the right to do what they want to do. And I'm not reading into it. There's probably tweets.
I don't understand why did Bias Goose block? A, why did he block him? And then B, even if he blocked him, why did he end up deleting his account?
It's a good question, Jeff. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, you can't watch every tweet and understand everything. We're just like, this is just the pieces that we know. So you can't know everything. But this is what Dirk was talking about. Is this standard procedure for troublemakers? Remember the 20th of January? Still waiting. Nice to meet you, Dirk. Wanted to loop in our mutual friend. That is Bias Goose, who is best to guide you through the XRPL. Sounds like you're building some really amazing things on XSpectar side. I'd love to find out ways to support. Bias Goose will lead you to take it from here, but please let me know how I can help and support. And then this is what he was bringing up inside in that Spaces Xfinity Spaces chat, and what he was alluding to. And then, like, I guess a little bit later, they were not selected. The bigger one for me, and then he tagged some people over there at Ripple. But Jeff, I think the bigger thing for me personally is the fact that, like, you can't go. Let me go this full screen. Jeff had a run, but you can't go to I think was it Apex we were going to? Remember, it was one of the Ripple events. How can you not go to this event and you book hotels, you book travel, you're sending Bob Way, an ex-Rippler, by the way, who represents the project incredibly, especially with vision, being the product guy over there. who's got this, who's brought so much life. Like every time Dirk's added somebody new, they brought a marketing guy, world renowned. He brought in someone like a Bob Way, who's been known about the community forever. And Bob Way is full throttle, and he's making the rounds, doing interviews. We'll have him on here at some point. I know we just can work schedules, but we're talking about real great stuff going on here. And I find that they give him a call 2 days later. Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't selected. Wait a minute, you weren't selected. So these are the kind of things. That's just the kind of recognition. Like, hey, come speak, talk about what you're doing. Why are you building on the XRPL? That's it. So there's clearly some weird stuff going on here that is unknown to us. Anyway, something that caught my eye because Jeff and I happen to be very big supporters of the project because it's one of the projects that we've seen come along that is going beyond what we know. No one's trying to create a metaverse with transactional stuff that has NFTs that bridges everything together. Jeff and I bought land in there. We made a pretty good investment. I think it was Apex. That's what it was. We made a significant investment in a piece of land, via XRP, but we're excited. We want to be there with a lot of the other ones. I think we were one of the first in the XRP, YouTubers that invested, and we're very vocal about it and want to build there, want to have a presence there because, it's something that hasn't ever been taken on before, and it's pretty exciting. So anyway, that's about all I want to talk about that. Jeff, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to it.
No, I mean, I'm looking and I'm a little surprised that, here you have the XRPL, developer summit, and they have a call to speakers. So, Dirk is saying that, that they wouldn't, they canceled that, or they invited them, but then they disinvited them somehow, but they wouldn't, and they wanted to go as speakers. They didn't just want to go as attendees. Maybe that was a big part of it. It'd be good to get, some more details, back, from them to find out, but you would think, I mean, there should be a segment. I mean, I'm looking at this really, really loose agenda that is put together here. Granted, it's in September, so it's a couple months out yet, but can you get a little bit more details on an agenda? Just let us know who this, there should be a link here. Who are the keynote speakers? And is that, what are the breakout sessions? Yeah, after party's awesome, but I want to, I would look at this and say, hey, you got people flying out of, out of country to come here to this, they keep it real super simple. I don't know. There's just kind of a pet peeve of mine when I look at how people, when you have a conference, and I go to a lot of conferences, you got to give a little bit of detail here. You got to show who those keynotes are. I'm not going to a conference if I don't know who the keynote is and I can't find the keynote. And again, this is coming up in September, so it's right around the corner. I don't know. I just that's an issue for me. But now I'm seeing it's even worse that that they're here's Dirk, that again, building in the space. You look at the project, you would think that you'd want someone like that to, if you're doing keynotes, you're doing breakout sessions, you're doing stuff. I'm sure there's something, building games in the space. There's a game that just rolled out on the XRPL. Super, super simple. Reminded me kind of Asteroids a little bit, but come on. I mean, to me, unless they have this feeling, hey, it's a metaverse game and they don't want to do a breakout on games at all. They don't want to talk about games, but this goes beyond that. I mean, what they're trying to accomplish, whether you think that metaverse is going someplace, not going someplace, if it's made for games, if it's going to be something beyond that. But so, but the last, go ahead.
But Jeff, here's the thing though. Metaverses are like, let's go in there. And I mean, do I want to go in there and see people in 3? No. What he's building is something transactional that's cross-chain, right? To be able to purchase something.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Like to me, Jeff, like that's different, right? That's different than the things we know. Like the metaverse, we've always been kind of like, But the idea of having a place that you can go and see people like cross-chain and purchase stuff, like buy stuff, have transactions. And at some point, it's called the metaverse. But even on a website, there could be a 3D side of it where you just click in a button and you're now in a metaverse. And it's through your browser, and you can go click and go to shopping and stores and whatever whatever crypto you want to purchase with, you can just purchase, and there's like name brands in there and stuff like that. It's almost like this virtual sort of marketplace. So I think that's the differentiator there. So it's not just like the metaverse, because I don't know, the metaverse, like in the gaming side, I don't know where it goes. I mean, some of them invested millions upon millions and it went nowhere. But this is the XRP Grant Awards, the 100th project. So it talks about this here. It talks about the way forward. And then so I clicked on this project here, Jeff. Like I go like, hey, oh, Mangrove, XPR, inventory software built for carbon dioxide removal, CDR companies to scale growth. What in the actual hell is that, Jeff? I go there and it's like, I don't even know where. Let's see, it's right here and it's not even showing up. It's missing, okay? Because that's missing. So I go to the second one, the Carbon Offset Toolkit. This is an XRPL-based NFTs backed by retired carbon offsets as incentives at point of sale, okay? So let's go over, take a look at that. Carbon offset, they're awarded $100,000. Here are the people. And then we look at the actual website. And you're like, okay, we're a Web3 carbon company. Start being a hero. Improve your brand's reputation. Our software as a service platform allows you to engage your customers on CSR goals, which nobody gives a shit about, Jeff. Nobody cares about this.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. This woke,
it's a useless project.
The woke mind virus has infected so many organizations out there with this nonsense. Everybody, of course, wants to make sure that our environment is safe. Everybody wants clean water. Well, I would feel better, and this is a lot of what our project was about bringing clean water to places on the earth where people don't have clean water and they walk miles to get a little bit of water. It's dirty, they have to boil it, and this is how they live. Why don't we do something that's actually going to help people instead of dancing around these carbon credit nonsense stuff? You can measure your personal travel or business footprint. You can reduce how customers' lifestyle choices. You can offset, show your commitment to the environment. This is a hidden tax. This does nothing for the environment. You can get carbon back digital collectibles. Okay, and then you come up here to pricing. You go to the pricing side here, and it's like measure $149. You can be a superhero, or you can be an enterprise climate legend. You can put your logo there, and you can tell you how you're offsetting, and you tick all these boxes by engaging, and then $149 a month. But if you want to be a super enterprise legend, so point is,
right? It's probably a lot more than that. But you could be a climate guardian for free.
For free, but you won't. Will you have a shopping cart? Nay.
No.
Will you have a carbon shop? Nay.
No.
Will you have a revenue share in carbon credits? Nay. But if you get the 149, you will have your logo show up here, and you will get I mean, wait, you're going to have a revenue share in carbon credits?
Carbon
credits is the biggest scam on earth, Jeff.
That's the whole point of this. And so, I mean, this is problematic on so many different levels, but the fact that this is where they're putting their money, this is what they're supporting. It's really, all telling. I think it's a bad thing. Michael Murphy is saying it's more of a marketplace selling pollution credits.
Right. And what does that mean? It's like a tax.
It's a tax.
Pay this, so you'll feel better about yourself. You'll feel like you're doing something. Does it actually do anything for the environment? And at some point, I mean, I can't play it here, but it's so funny.
Grants are a little politicized.
Yeah, a leading scientist came out and totally blew that whole crowd out of the water when he talked about, I can't say it here, but basically blew the whole concept, this whole idea of this area where the weather, the climate does have a change. He blew it out of the water because he looked at periods of time when carbon dioxide was super high. And just like, the science part of it, science is always there. What about the science? Until you actually pull the science out and you're like, well, not that science. We want to hear the science supports our argument. So what do? You keep funding scientists so you can create a narrative so they can continue to get funded so you can keep on going with that. And listen, Ripple's done an amazing amount of stuff, great stuff. Is it something that they're going to be able to control 100%? No. And Matt, this is where I wanted to pull this article up here because I think Matt Hamilton brings a lot of what's the word I'm trying to look for here? A little more clarity, I would say, to how it works. And former Ripple director, spotlights funding challenges within the XRP ecosystem with the light of in light of XSpectar's intention. As I don't know they're going to intend. I think it was more just like a little showing some. Matt Hamilton, former director of relations at Ripple, expressed his views in the recent allegation of neglect against Ripple, shedding light on funding and support issues. And Matt said this, and he said that he said the staff are paid by Ripple at Ripple X as a business unit within Ripple, but it's all the same legal entity. And he goes, it's a tough conundrum and something I wrestled with while I was there. That dichotomy of wanting funding to be decentralized, but at the same time, one entity has all of the funds. So the XRPLF, which is the funding part, was meant to solve that in some way, but it feels somewhat dormant. And this is it. It's like if you took 50 projects, Jeff, and you could go on the merits of which ones you thought were good and which ones weren't. But if Ripple runs a grant wave and they say that it has to do with carbon credits or what are you doing for the environment? Well, the projects that are doing something in that category are obviously going to win. But you could have somebody else enter that doesn't really tick the box for that and be a really valid project, but not win. And the people that usually select this are usually from outside of Ripple. So when they do waves, they have a very serious focus on this. And then you could debate whether or not you thought the finer points were going to be met or not. But again, there's two sides to every story. And the thing is, when it comes to Ripple, and it comes to that's one thing they've done right, is most of the people are outside of Ripple that are choosing this. It's not people within Ripple X that I'm aware of. I could be wrong on that. Maybe somebody can prove me wrong, but
I guess they put it together so they can vote on it. There's a vote in terms of who gets in with a grant. But that could be problematic if it's not and that's what Matt Hamilton is referencing. If they wanted to have a true decentralized mechanism for voting, then you really have to expand it. Is it just it's just members of the XRPL foundation or community that are able to vote? I'm not sure how they decide on these grants then, Chip. If they don't have an individual that's actually looking at it, or are they going to this? Is there a committee that then gets to vote on the grants? Are they then making these determinations? And if they are, why the fuck are they continuously picking horrible projects? Why aren't they?
Yeah, we saw the one, Jeff. It wasn't even listed under their. It was completely gone and erased. Maybe they didn't meet the criteria.
Maybe because it didn't meet it. But yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get why they would allow that to continue. You'd think that they want to support. They want to support projects that are actually developing in the space and building a use case, a real world utility that's needed, not like carbon credits. Carbon credits aren't needed, and they're definitely not needed built on the XRPL. It's not something that is relevant right now today. Maybe 100 years from now when they finally get traction with this forced tax. But the tax isn't going to do anything. It's nonsense. The whole idea of monitoring your travel, your impact on the environment, who gives a shit? That's so irrelevant to the overall. If you want to look at pollution, then turn to China and India, the biggest polluters in the entire world, each with more than 1 billion people that are dumping all sorts of chemicals into the oceans. And think about all the plastics and all the garbage that is, that's out in the ocean that has come from that region that has migrated its way into the middle of the ocean because they just dump.
Why are you bringing up the inconvenient truths, Jeff? In fact, stop that with that stuff. You're being way too logical. You're approaching this from a logical standpoint. I would rather approach from a feel-good standpoint. Like, make us feel better, Jeff.
So let's feel good is that then we have, so the objective in this whole idea of this new financial asset class, and let's bring it right down to the bare bones basics of what Ripple was building or has been building and is building, which is RippleNet, which is all about moving money, all right, and doing it efficiently, doing it quick, and doing it cheaply. So how about if we talk about that, and let's have the XRPL, which is a phenomenal platform to build on that allows interoperability. And then if you have a program like the XSpectar that's trying to build on multiple platforms and creating interoperability within their platform, why wouldn't you get behind that? Why would you distance yourself and turn them down. To give them, public recognition. B, to bring them to the Apex conference as a keynote speaker, because they are putting, huge sums of money, and they've done a pretty phenomenal job so far. It's not just, they didn't just roll out an NFT. They rolled out an entire metaverse platform, multiple NFTs. You dig in, and it kills me. Again, regardless of what your thoughts are of metaverse and all of that, I'm looking through everything they've done. They've also rolled out, think about the XSpectar token. There's
Right,
an XSpectar marketplace, and the marketplace, right? You can buy your NFTs over on their marketplace.
Which will be over there as well. You'll be able to buy, Badass Yeti over there as well.
Yeah. So, and you just go through everything they talk about, even, no, I'm not sharing this, but you get into their trust line, and tying into the ZUM. Think about the ZUM wallet. To me, that was a phenomenal project. They didn't go woke. They're not talking about carbon credits. They're talking about ZUM, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help. It's supposed to help move assets,
right,
in their wallet platform. But the rest of this is it's just crazy.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Well, let's jump into something else, Jeff. A new topic here. I know we kind of went long on that, but look. So we're going to talk about things that sometimes in 40 minutes. Gosh, all right, here we go. So I want to talk about this here. Yoshikawa from she runs Web3 and crypto over at Ripple, XRPL based in San Francisco, and I, of course, had to translate this because it's in Japanese. But
good. I was going to say,
yeah. So she posted this, which is really, really great. The concept of Ryan Fugger, who developed the concept of decentralized social credit, is integrated into the foundation of the XRP ledger. And the concept paper he wrote back in 2006 is interesting, applying the idea of a distributed information network by the internet to a remittance network equals debt information network. And they were advocating a remittance utilizing a distributed social credit network based in the trust network in human society. I'm sure there's some things that don't come across in the translation, so it seems a little odd, but at the time it was difficult to put into practical use, but it was later realized by the XRPL by integrating it with distributed ledger technology. And she's talking about this paper here, which came out in May of 2006 by Ryan Fugger, who was he was really the founder of Ripple Pay, which later became Ripple, but put the concept together. We're not going to go through this whole thing, but payment as a routing system, an analogy to how computer networks, and Emmy was really just sort of, I guess, really summing it up in what she was saying there. But she also posted this video, which is, I think we played this before, Jeff. I'm gonna have to stop sharing my screen, but I'll share it again. But this video is interesting because it's one of the first videos. It almost seems like if you watch like one of those dystopian sort of like I just finished The Silo, it would have been something that played in the background, or like one of these where there's a video playing and there's a narration, there's a video, and you go like, sounds like one of those things was made for like that dystopian future thing where everything crumbles, and this is the video. But this was a video made about Ripple. Gosh, I don't know when, but it probably a good number of years ago, I would imagine, if I had to think about it. This is on YouTube, but let me share my screen here. I'll put this full screen, and then let's listen to this. Here we go, and let me know if you don't hear it.
Ripple is a great new way to exchange value, letting you pay people through your social network as easily as if you had your own bank. Ripple turns the existing trust on which trade has always been based into a free and secure financial network that serves your needs. You can create your own useful money with only a few mouse clicks. Organize child-minded or after-school programs in a way that fairly rewards everyone. Already have a tab with your friend? Great, now it works like a credit card. Whole communities can easily use Ripple to their advantage. You simply register and connect with people you trust. Now you can use your own financial node, issue valuable personal credit, even see how creditworthy someone is in the trust network. It works with any currency, automatically converting as needed, and it's all completely accessible. Use your social network to make real payments. Ripple connects you with the people you need to know through the people you know. With Ripple, You simply deal with anyone, while Ripple balances your credit relationships and lets you make transactions. Everyone can make transactions through their social networks, sharing credit only with trusted partners, while Ripple safely routes value through chains of nodes connected by degrees of separation.
Anyway, I think you get the idea. I don't think we watched the whole damn thing here, Jeff,
I
but I
like
think you
it.
get the idea. I noticed there's no gender fluid here. I think this is
That's
must have
good.
been a long time ago, because like there's a clearly distinctly, sort of like figures going on there, but I was like, yeah.
I like it, but that is exactly what this space should be talking about. We shouldn't be talking about all the garbage. This is it. But there is a bad side to to centralizing the authority of overseeing who is going to be supported, who's not going to be supported. But I look at this, the premise of moving money. How do you build trust lines between individuals, businesses? How does that happen from a centralized perspective? Trust lines are established because we have third-party entities that manage money and make a lot of money helping other people manage their money. Meaning, where you store your money, how you use your money, how, if you're buying something, you have to transfer money. You do it through a bank wire or an ACH, or you use a credit card. And you have third parties that are making a lot of money off of all that transaction. So the whole notion of where RippleNet started, and, when you look at the XLM, the Stellar Foundation, going to micropayments, and this video talking about, not corporations, but talking about individuals. How do you build trust within the community? And you have you establish a very, easy mechanism. I like that, Chip. I like the idea of having, the DeFi automatically, help facilitate all of this connectivity. And it's a big deal. And that's what, Jim D is saying. Know your people. A new KYC. Where's the know your exchange or the DAO? And it does have to go to a different level. Even going to a DAO, there has to be, at the end of the day, there still has to be a third party entity that is connecting all of these things. And so that's what Ripple is saying. You're connecting all the people in that video. It sounds, really altruistic, that there's no centralized company that's facilitating it, but there is, because there's a centralized company that built all the tech. And there's going to have to be other third-party companies that are interfacing, that are developing and designing the technology that people are going to utilize. Even if it's open source, there still has to be a platform. And I don't know that you want money and everything always moved in an open source environment. You still want to have some sort of protective mechanism behind the scenes. I think that's what Main Street really needs, is having, kind of, I don't want to say big brother, but they need somebody there in case they lose their key or they lose their password or there's an issue, because there still could be technical glitches. And they want someone to turn to say, hey, I need you to return my money. Help me out here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
figure
just
this out.
going back to the previous subject, Mike Moraz says, carbon credits remind me of a dating site where you buy credits to talk, and then they tell you what you want to hear. So I was like, that's a pretty good analogy. It's like, you're saving the environment. You're doing a good job. Excellent job. Fantastic, right? So let's look at this, Jeff. A couple quick hits here before we get out of here. But this was interesting. It came across this right here. Oh, sorry. Uphold put this tweet out. Coming soon, Uphold Vault. What is Uphold Vault? It's a state-of-the-art assisted custody solution built to keep your assets secure and protect against private key loss. With Vault, Uphold implements a multi-sig framework in which Uphold holds one key and you hold the remaining two keys. So 2 keys are required to conduct a transaction, allowing you to operate independently even if the Uphold system is unavailable. Upon launch, early access will be granted to XRP holders with support for other networks and tokens in the future. The fluidity of the centralized services meets decentralized security with Uphold Vault. And so there it
Funny,
is right
exactly
there.
what we're just talking about.
Right?
Exactly what we're talking. You still need that centralized mechanism involved in it, and I love it.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're and you know, and if you look at the comments, people are like, oh, it's still centralized, it's still this and that. Do you know of any other? And I wouldn't really call Uphold an exchange, or a little bit different. You know, are my coins not safe on your exchange? Do I need to do this? Uphold said, yeah, we maintain an elaborate system of reserve management, always keep our users' funds fully reserved. You can visit our site. The transparency on Uphold is phenomenal. They are always telling you, like, if you go here, to tell you exactly what they do and how they do it. You guys are amazing. But a lot of people like weighed in, like, oh, it's more of this and that, and a lot of good stuff as well. Any plans to list Sheep's Leap and all this? But I applaud the idea, Jeff, because here's somebody out there attempting that you keep 2 of the keys, so you don't need them to do the transaction, right? And in order to do a transaction or move it, you need 2 keys, so that it's always going to require your consent. I can't move it with 1 key without your key. So that's pretty interesting. So now the part about
things are developing at a rapid pace right now, you know. So I think that's what we also have to realize, at the speed of which things are developing, and everything has to catch up. That's the other part of it. But BZ is saying digital bill of rights is paramount, and really it is. We have to really figure out, because it is different than the regular financial infrastructure. Something has to be put together. Don't know exactly how it would look. But
can't
yeah,
let
we don't want
governments do it. Governments can't do it. Governments like, we want to put together a bill of rights where it tells them all the ways they can control you. That's why the BIS, and I call them BS. You lose that I, because I is BS, but you lose all those things. The World Economic Forum, WEF, all that stuff, complete garbage, right? That's what we needed in the world, right? More unelected bureaucrats to tell us and put their thumb down on us to figure out, you know, what we need to do and how we need to do it. It's just really ridiculous. Look at this one, Jeff.
Michael Adu, this was in reference to, just the open source and all those too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah,
never
spoils the broth, as they say, right? So this one is just the Russian central bank deputy says digital currencies could spell the end of SWIFT. Your thoughts on that, Jeff?
I think no shit.
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, right?
Like, what the? It's funny to me. I was looking at that earlier, and it's kind of like, where have you been for the past 12 years? Like, you know, what is, like, everyone's finally coming to this conclusion here. I'm glad that it's finally getting to higher level individuals that are recognizing the fact. But it's kind of mission critical as to why he's mentioning it right now. Because if we look at what BRICS is doing, BRICS is ratcheting up, and they're moving in a direction of some form of digital asset, whether it's going to be centralized or not. Maybe it'll be fully in the crypto space, or is it just digital currency? You know, so the notion there. So I think there's two things to pull apart. One is the decentralized space, with cryptocurrency, and they're going to fight that. I think what he's referencing, because obviously it's coming from the central bank, we're talking about central bank digital currencies in this regard. But again, RippleNet Ripple has been building for the past, 10, 11 years, specifically to help facilitate the movement of money, to maybe not get rid of SWIFT, but to be a strong competitor to SWIFT. But SWIFT doesn't go away if SWIFT also moves in the direction of some sort of digital currency.
Well, the thing about
SWIFT
BRICS
just changes.
Yeah, Jeff, just to add on to that digital currency they're talking about, there's also a lot of talk about it coming out in August. At least that's a target frame, but also backed by gold. So that I would applaud that. You know, get back to, backing it by something real other than printing it. Mike says here, boom, on my 3rd cup of Yeti coffee, and now I'm all jacked up. Let's get this day going. Thanks, Jeff and Chip, for making my day awesome. And thank you for tweeting that out, Mike. Mike put out a great little fantastic tweet out there showing he bought 2 bags of the coffee there. And then SoFlo Digital says, where can I get the Yeti coffee? I'm glad you asked that because I'm going to drop it right in there now.
I just did. It's already dropped.
Oh, you dropped it? Okay, so let me.
Well, you dropped the link. I didn't try. You got the whole
no one reads that.
HTTPS and
Can you
all
remove that? It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, it's driving.
It's scrolling.
Yeah, can you get rid of that?
Maybe.
Yeah, just leave that.
Thank you. There you go.
I don't know. I just have like just on there like that scrolling stuff drives me crazy. But anyway, you go to Badass Yeti's coffee right there, guys. And is it any good? No. It's fucking great, man. I mean, let's be honest. So you can, but a couple we also got K cups. People were inquiring about K cups for our Brood Awakening, but we've got our Obsidian Bold, which is the darkest roast, Italian style. We've got our Noir Symphony, which is a dark roast, sort of a blend. Rob said that's just the regular dark roast. This is a Mountain Mist, which is this is like between medium and dark. And then our newest one, Brood Awakening. I'll just pop in here. And just look at that. Look at that right there. That's what you need to get going in the morning. A little bit of Badass Yeti. Awaken the Badass Yeti inside yourself. And we got the K cups. So if you want K cups, you just select this when you're ordering. Also, if you guys enjoy the coffee, here's what you can do. You can set up a subscription and get an automatic discount. So you can subscribe and save. And then what you do here is you can say, do you want it, twice a month? Do you want it once a month? And it just comes. Oh crap, I got to order some. It just comes every single month, and you get that delivered.
And it's good, Chip. It's really good. Obsidian Bold. Look at this. Look at that steam. Look at that steam coming off that coffee.
It's beautiful.
Oh man,
it's a beautiful thing, man. And of course the
dark and rich that is.
And also too, just to kind of give you guys an update on the Badass Yetis, we are in the middle of working. We now have a signing off on an agreement with the folks over at Super Mojo. And we're going to be having the Badass Yetis. You'll be able to buy it with your regular fiat currency. So we're going to be able to do that. We had a lot of people talking about it, like, I don't want to part with my XRP. So I'd rather just buy it with the card. So we're going to do that as well. What was that? What was that comment, Jeff?
Not a coffee drinker, but I love my Badass Yeti. That's right. So, so Steve Walker said, do owners of the Yetis on coffee... What's that? Wait a minute. Do the owners of Yetis, owners of Yetis on the coffee packs get a percentage if your Yeti ended up on the coffee? So yeah, it's Yetis on the coffee they haven't been minted.
Yeah, they haven't been minted because those are the ones that that's a great thing. And we were very aware of that, which is why those Yetis are not going to be minted, that they're in our possession, because we wanted to make sure that when we get ready to roll that out, that we roll it out the right way, kind of following suit a little bit to the way like Pudgy Penguins rolled out, where you actually, if your Badass Yeti is used, you do have a horse in the race. Also, I wanted to say
we've been working on something like that. We'd like it, but it all goes into how those use cases are implemented from a legality perspective. So
exactly, Rob Licker,
we're not quite there yet.
From the community, you guys all know Rob Licker, but he got 2 bags. He was pretty pumped about it. He tweeted that out over there. Let's see where there it is right here. So here's another cool thing. If you own, we have the White Tribe coming out soon. So we're 60% minted on 60% of the Blue Tribe Badass Yetis are gone. So if you own a Blue Tribe Badass Yeti, you're going to get a White Tribe member. So we're doing this because you guys have been fantastic. We appreciate the support. If you own 3 Blue Tribe Yetis, you'll get 2 White Tribe Yetis. And if you own 6+ Blue Tribe Yetis, you'll get 3 White Tribe Yetis. There's a bunch of you guys out there that own more than 6. So thank you so much for that. Also, I wanted to kind of give everybody a sort of sampling of what these some of these cool White Tribe members look like. So Jeff, take the mic.
As you're pulling that up, but El Capitan is saying, when UK, so we are working on that. We got cleared that we can ship international, so we're getting that all set up and just working out the shipping financial logistics part of it, and then we have to give some approvals, and then we'll be good to go, and we'll be able to ship international. So we're excited about that. Wanted to make sure we got everything flowing right on a domestic first, and so domestic is working seamlessly at this point, and then we'll get that rolled out. So we got all the products are there too on the coffee side. But check it out. Go to Chip's going to show off some of the white tribe, and we're excited about it. Why? Because we have this all over on the XRP Cafe. XRP Cafe utilizes the XRPL. So we, this project has been built on the platform, and so it's really, really great. And so Chip is pulling up some really amazing white tribe members. We're putting together the backstory on some of these different clans within the white tribe, and soon these guys are gonna launch. So we're putting some final touches on this white tribe, which is really cool.
Yeah,
so Chip, you got them up. You want to share?
I've got them all loaded up here.
Okay,
so
let's go. There we
hang
go.
on a
Look at
second.
that.
Let me
Look at that guy.
Sorry, so this right here are the Guardians. The Guardians right here, so it'll give you kind of an idea what these guys look like. So you can kind of see that there's some similarities into it, but they're wearing different clothes, they get different expressions. So there's different traits of them. Next ones up are the Tempests. Look at these guys right here. So, some of them are a little grisly, but these are the Tempests, and later followed by the Brutes. They're kind of short and stocky, but they are, look at that hairdo, Jeff. So these are the Brutes carrying different weapons, different colors, some shades of eyes right there. Next up, we've got the Fire Ash Yetis. These are dirty little guys right here. They're kind of like very close akin to the Fire Yetis, which we'll see next, but that is an Ash Yeti. You can see how dirty and crazy they are, and there's always fire that follows them. Then we've got the Fire Yetis. You can see a little bit of fire coming off them. They can cast fire. These guys are pretty badass right here. There's a Fire Yeti. And then next up we have we talked a little bit about the Guardians. The Guardians guard the elders. There's an elder right there. The elders, there's very few elders. So these are really rare traits, but there's one of the elders. There's another elder. So the elders are just, they're old, been around a while. They have a lot of pull within the community. But anyway, guys, that's the thing. So go ahead and get yourself a badass Yeti. You will get one of these guys. These are just some of them. There are more White Tribe members, but just to kind of give you an idea to kind of, cycle through them again. You just cycle through them again so you can kind of get a flavor for these guys. Again, I happen to think there's really nothing like this. These type of like cool little creatures. This project, we kind of feel like it's different in its own way. It's got a story. It's got tribes. These are clans within the tribe itself. And so there you go.
The Guardians guard the coffee.
That too. They're the ones carrying the bags of coffee as well, Steve. So
they do, yeah. That's the delivery. So
Mike said, "Oh my God, I was thinking the same thing." They guard the coffee. That's right. They guard the coffee, but they're badass little creatures, and so we're going to continue to grow this project. We'd love to say like, "Hey, you guys built us in the XRPL. Great. We don't need a recognition." And based on what we say on this show, I don't really expect Ripple X to be knocking on our door, granting us anything in the future. I mean, we're just going to call it the way we see it. I think, you have to be as upfront and honest as you are. And they're just our opinions. They don't mean anything. It's just our opinions. You guys have your opinions, and right, Jeff? I mean,
the next tribe will have the Guardians of the carbon credit.
Actually, Jeff and I have talked about that. So
we have talked about carbon credit. So it could be very interesting.
And if you want a Blue Tribe member, these are the clans right here. So go get yourself one. You can mint one for 125. If you see one you like, you can buy these on the aftermarket. If you see something like, oh, I love this guy right here. Look at those eyes. Fantastic. You can go buy that for 185. Or you can buy one and you can put on the aftermarket as well. So, rarity 220 of 339 because that's how many have been minted so far. So the rarity traits and the original names come with all of these badass Yetis. And so you can go ahead and connect your Sun wallet and go out there and grab yourself one. And the cool news is very soon, probably within 2 weeks, we will be on Super Mojo. So you'll be able to go to Super Mojo and buy it with a credit card or a debit card, and then you'll be able to own it. And it's also great for people in my life, Jeff. I mean, there's a lot of people that have inquired, like people that are just like, yeah, I'd like to own I'd like to own one of your NFTs, or I want to support your project. I think it's pretty cool. And then when I try to explain to them how they do it, yeah, it's simple. You go to a place like an Uphold or a BitTrue, and you buy the XRP, then you transfer the XRP. You go to the Sum wallet, then you transfer the Sum wallet, then you connect your Sum wallet, then you hit them. For a lot of people, it's just too much. Oh, how do I get one? Simple. You connect this link, and the next thing you know, Jeff, that's it. You're there. There's not too much else about it. And I want to promote another project that we believe in too, and they're doing a great thing by trying to save this elephant out there. Canoon here. So let me do this. This is what it looks like on XRP. This is what ours is going to look like too. This is Unchained Elephant, phenomenal project. We're doing this right now. Help us rescue Canoon. I'm going to drop this link in there. Guys who want to support another great project, these are only $19. But again, all the profits are going to save an elephant. If you want to go to Unchained Elephants on Twitter, they post an image of them with the elephant. By purchasing this, you actively contribute to rescuing elephants while enjoying the wonders of Phuket over in Thailand. Rescue contribution, 100% of all sales of the first 900 donated to rescue and relocate Canoon. So he doesn't have to, he's an older elephant, don't have to go ahead and work. They also get a 3-year membership with up to 30% off tours. So there's a lot of utility behind this. Own a unique NFT digital collectible. We also were gifted when this project first came out. Jeff and I both have one of these as well. But you can see it's super easy. You click pay with credit card, and then you put your phone number in, and then the next screen comes up. It's just a credit card page. Put your information in, you click buy, and boom, it throws it in the wallet for you. If you want to transfer at a later date, you can, but it's here for safekeeping. So big deal. Pretty soon you'll see Badass Yetis over there on Super Mojo, and I know a lot of people that ask for it be excited to purchase one over there. So
yeah, it's very cool.
But we're building on the XRPL, guys. That's it. These NFT projects, building on the NFT, the XRPL, creating a brand. First product rollout was the coffee. It is, people said like, well, yeah, it seems expensive. Yeah, but go out there and check what a bag, of roast to order costs. You can pay upwards of $40 to $50 for it. We try to make it as reasonable as we can. But again, the cost to put it together. Order comes in. Beans are roasted. We recommend getting the whole bean and grinding it yourself. But next thing you know, you got full grounds. And Mike Marath will tell you in the chat, how much
good it is.
Yeah, how good it is. He was like kind of blown away. And that's what we love to hear. I mean, obviously we're biased, but Jeff and I we're big coffee drinkers. Jeff, we've been talking about
order
coffee.
just came in. An order just came in for the coffee. So thank you for the order. Just got the little chime. That's really cool. We get chimed when the orders come in. Nice.
Yeah, that's really great. And guys, we always appreciate that. And but again, you want to support the ecosystem, go over to xrp.cafe or on XRP. One of the two, more well-known, there's other ones, but hey, you don't have to buy a Badass Yeti. Maybe that's not your flavor. Maybe you like more of the hand-drawn art. Great projects over there. Go support one. And some of them are inexpensive. Some you can buy for 15, 20 XRP, and you can get into the, the NFT. I mean, we were dying we really wanted to mint these on the XRPL, so we waited. And go support some project, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to, it's kind of like that Gandhi thing, be what you want to see in the world. And, it's kind of the same thing. You want to see mass adoption. It starts with you adopting some technology. If the NFTs aren't your things, you don't have to buy the coffee, but go support a project out there. Again, we wanted to turn it into a brand. And Jeff and I, it's always been I think a lifelong dream to have a coffee brand. And so, the coffee's worthy of putting, I wouldn't say our names, but the Badass Yeti's name on it and coming up with the names and having a lot of fun with it. And if you read through the site on the Badass Yetis, coffee.com, we had a little bit of fun with it. So you can see a little tongue in cheek and a lot of goofiness on there, but we back it up, right? We believe 100% in what we're doing. Otherwise, we wouldn't be part of it. We're not going to give you, anybody can, you could have found a bag of garbage coffee for $9. If we don't drink it and we don't care for it, we're not going to give it to you. So we've always had that mentality of, if it's good enough, puts our name on it, then it's good enough for you guys.
And there's Mike. I'll tell you, it's the best. I'm not just pushing anything. If you know me, I'm straight up, and I'll tell you the truth. And it was really, just to talk about that. I know we're running over time and talk about the projects, but picking out, the right coffee beans is really, important. I just want to, talk about just one last point. because as we're pulling the NFT project together, we are getting ready to roll out a website. The website is going to connect everything back together as well, which will be great, because on the website, we're going to have our roadmap as well. So there's a lot of accomplished goals already. We need somewhere to put up the roadmap of what we've accomplished and kind of the direction the project's taking, which will be great. I know we kind of save talking about the Badass Yeti coffee and the NFTs for the end of the show, because a lot of people want to get the information that we talk about and then hop off. So we are running to the time here. Station C4, love the look of the white tribe of the Badass Yetis. They are very, very cool. Crypto Bob, happy birthday, Chip. We want to hear Jeff sing happy birthday to you, as we all know he loves you so much, as all of us here at OTC on the chain.
Yeah, thank you for all the birthday wishes. That was something I wanted to mention as well. Everybody on Twitter and then obviously in our Discord, thanks to Jeff letting everybody know about that, to wish me a happy effing birthday. You had to use that terminology, but and other places as well. So thank you, appreciate that, to Bob, and had a phenomenal birthday yesterday with the family. Just they went all out and gonna do a dinner.
Awesome.
I turn it into a birthday weekend. Sometimes I'll even turn it into a birthday week, right? A lot to celebrate, trip around the sun, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, very fortunate.
You turned 39. Happy birthday.
39 again, Jeff. It's phenomenal. I've turned 39 again. It's phenomenal. And next year is a big hallmark year. It's like one of those milestone years. And that one I plan on having some kind of a party. So I would love maybe some of my, bestest friends from the OTC community could attend too, but maybe we'll have just a blowout party. It's a milestone birthday, and God willing, I get there and all that great stuff. But super excited about the future and what's happening. And my family went all out to make sure I had a great birthday, and nothing better than that, man. Nothing better than that. And thank you guys for the well wishes, because that made it extra special.
Sweet.
That's all we have. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that. Look at you guys all wishing me a happy birthday. Yay, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday to all of you, too. Because I don't know when your birthdays are, but it deserves to be celebrated. You deserve to be celebrated because of you guys are awesome. You guys come in here, you contribute ideas, whether you agree or don't agree. Barbie Taylor says Dirk doesn't sound like a very professional businessman. Like we hung out with Dirk for an entire weekend. He's probably one of the more professional people. That's what you're hearing is frustration. Respect is earned. Yeah, respect is earned. Yeah, in my book, he earned the respect, and he's been dissed. When you are invited to something and uninvited to something, that's disrespectful. When you are told that you're building something really cool and 2 days later told it's shunned, that's disrespectful. He earned this respect, and what you're seeing is frustration, Barbie. I get that it kind of might come off like that. And again, there's always two sides of the story, but when you're building something that cool and you're building it around the XRPL and building around transactions, which really does tie in with Ripple. And then I think part of it is seeing all these crazy, like Jeff and I, when we got rejected twice, the first thing we do is go check the projects. And we're like, Jeff, what is this project here? And you're never going to hear from this project again. 100 grand blown out into the, by the way, our Badass Yetis, they're living on the XRPL, baby. Our Badass Yeti brand, it's reality. A lot of hard work, effort went into it. Hey, if we never get recognized, we don't care. But I get the point of commercially viable projects. Is it viable? Jeff and I were working on another project that we try to get a little support from Ripple X. Like, hey, can we talk to the right person? We got some, VC, we got some money, people looking at this. Nothing. Completely shunned.
That was pretty shocking too. Because the whole thing, I mean, it was written out, and the people that we had backing it, and it's still, the time is a little bit early for that project. So it's still there, still simmering. But what's amazing about it is that we couldn't get, and we reached out to we had top people reaching out and still couldn't get feedback from them. That to me was a little disconcerting. But that's how it goes. That is how it goes. There's the White Tribe. We've run way over time. Happy birthday, Chip. Chip is 39 again. You've aged well, Chip. 39.
Love it. Fantastic. Good job. I'm not 39. I'm not even 49. It doesn't matter. I don't really care,
No,
really. You know,
doesn't
it's like
matter
that's
anymore.
what you feel. The
That's
best
right.
card I got was from my my youngest daughter, and she said, "Hey, I know you feel 25 inside, and I hope that never changes." And that is like the coolest thing you could say. Can't say it any better than that. And it's kind of like Jeff and I were talking about. They're like 25 sucks for both of us. So it's like we both picked 39 because it was a better place in your life, and that's what comes along with aging and also knowing. So appreciate that, Mike. Thank you for your big support on the you know, not only the XRP or the Badass Yetis coffee. Really appreciate that. So it's all good stuff, guys. We will 39. Geez, 39.
That's all we got.
Appreciate it. That's all we got, guys. We're
That's
out of
all we
here.
got.
We will see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff out. See you tomorrow night, guys. See you. Bye.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.